All right, well, welcome everybody. Welcome to again. You see my face, so it's time for Africa on Focus, and on this time, it's a bit on lockdown mode. We're not in the studio at the moment because this is quite of a special segment or a special interview that I'm having with filmmakers from the continent who are in the Netherlands, not just for any reason, but creative reasons, business reasons. And that's what we are going to talk about with them about today. But since we don't have too much time for one person that I'm super excited to even interact with, but his schedule is super busy, we're just going to get right into the interview. Before we do that, welcome to High Radio, the voice of the next generation. As you watch this, this of course is something that a conversation that has taken place, but is worth watching so much, especially for people in the creative scenes. I'm your host, Miss.ABA. If you are listening to this, make sure that you repost it on all social media platforms, wherever you find us, whether that be on Facebook or YouTube. And if you are listening to us on our usual radio platform, a big shout out to you and thanks so much for listening. As mentioned earlier, today we're talking film making. The filmmaking business is something that a lot of people want to tap into, but not, as easy for everybody to do that. And let me just explain the occasion. Well, here in Amsterdam, as this is the ending of August, Mensah, who is one of our returning guests, she has a hand in importing African film to the Netherlands. I just call it that. And she has a big influence in that. And she is on her next best thing. And as she's on her next best thing, we are joining her in that. She is the curator of Actual Africa and the founder of ASA Events. You might know her for one of our first episodes and interviews that we had, and now she has a hand in World Cinema Amsterdam Festival, which is now taking place. And we are talking to a couple of renowned filmmakers that is part of her team. Let's talk about the first renowned person, and he is remarkable, an all round true artist, if you ask me. He's Belgian Congolese. Aside from making his film, his visual, he is also a rapper and a music director. Very, very well known in the scene and quite one who has made his kilometers, as we would say. Well, his breakthrough as MC, Balo with his band Starflam is kind of where his thing started because music is where his side um, really started, and we're going to find out more. And he has been performing as a solo artist since 2004. Baloji, which is now his name, means man of science in Swahili. Let's get to talk to him and let's see what all of that is about. Hello, Baloji.
Hello, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
Oh man, Nancy told me about your schedule, and I am really thankful that you're making the time out for us right now.
You cannot say no to Nancy. As simple as that. No,
Got you.
it's just because we have a couple of deadlines and yeah, but it's a pleasure to be with you. It's an honor. I think it's important that we support each other and we do stuff with the community. So I'm very happy to be with
Absolutely.
you today.
Absolutely. How is Amsterdam treating you?
Very nice, very nice. Yesterday was really nice event with Adam that screened his film about
Yeah.
people going back to Ghana. I think you're gonna receive Adam a little bit later in the
Yeah.
program. It was very interesting art space. Then I just forgot the name
Yeah.
right now. You know the name of the art
Yeah.
place yesterday? Oh, I forgot.
Was it
But it was very
Oscom?
interesting. Yeah, exactly. Oscam. I think it's a beautiful place. It's interesting that this place exists. Again, for the community,
Yeah.
it's very important. And I really like this festival. They really do the good things.
Yeah. Great. Great to have that good impression from you. And also as one who's just known all around the world, you being on your A game. Well, first, I really would like to know for you, because you're really an all-round artist. One of the major questions I had, how have you been able to relate your music, with all aspects of what you do, as in terms of visual, you have a distinct style. How have you been able to tie and connect that together? So beautiful.
Uh, I don't know. I would say that my main job is doing poetry. So poetry can take multiple forms. The most obvious
Yeah,
one is laying on top of music, but it can also poetry in motions on films and on aesthetic, on visual. But I would say that poetry is the main angle that I try to work with. That's
yeah,
how we try to talk about situation and develop some content.
right.
Do you hear me? Yeah. Okay.
That is
I thought you were
amazing.
not there
I
anymore.
love
Yeah.
that. Also, let's talk about, yeah. Let's talk about zombies. Zombies,
Yeah.
one that you're presenting at the festival as well.
Yeah. Yesterday.
Could you tell me a bit about zombies? What it's about?
Oh, zombies is tackling several subjects. Obviously, the most obvious one, as you can see in the beginning of the film, is talking about clickbait and content to make sure that people still connected to their phone. But the real subject matter come after a couple of minutes about this neo-colonialism system that is still running deeply in Africa, and how the main character of the film trying to
Right,
make a decision to make it stop. So yeah, that's the idea.
right. And just before we, right, and just before we round
I'm
up,
with you. I'm with you. I'm with you. I'm with you.
what was your idea behind this particular topic? Sorry.
Yeah, I'm saying I'm with you, so we can talk. There's no problem. What is the main topic? You
Oh,
mean?
great, great.
I
Yeah.
lost you.
So, why this particular topic? What was your idea behind this very relevant topic? Because we are a lot of times on our phones.
Yeah, because I think it's interesting. You talk about something that we all gonna discuss in the next decade. Is the time, the available time that our brain can focus on something, and that's gonna be like a riches that we all gonna fight for. The available time. When you see that most YouTube content online, people
Yeah.
watch 30 seconds, that says a lot about our focus and the time span we can spend on online on things. So we have the scrolling culture, and this culture extend to so many different things,
Mm,
to relationship, human relationship, love, the way we interact with technology is very connected to time
yeah.
consuming.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Very, very relevant topic. And would you say that this is your quest to bring people's attention on other things? What was your idea really behind this and
Yeah,
the
yeah.
goal? Who did you
It's
have in
like I
mind?
said. It's like I said. I really play super open with whatever I'm doing. There is on screen this words clickbait. So talking about iPhones and making dance move in a film, it's a clickbait.
Right. Yeah.
It's
Gotcha.
the way that I can get the viewer into the more difficult part of the narrative.
Yeah. Gotcha. Before we round up, we would. This is a random question that we always ask our guests that come on African Focus. What is your favorite African food, and who is on your playlist now?
African food. A Congolese one, mwambe.
Mwambe.
It's a so yeah. It's arachide sauce with chicken. It's fantastic. And then I'll dine. for plants and whatsoever. I could live on this for the rest of my life. It's no problem. And who's on my playlist? Gabriel Garbon, then I forgot his name. It's a fantastic artist because I'm I'm the biggest fan of an American singer called Jamila Woods. She's also a poet and she's an artist that really inspired me. And I just had the chance to work with recently, and she did a collab with this artist. Then I think it's really exceptional. But I just forgot the name. They have a song called "Someone," and it's great. It's crazy.
We will look that up. Thank you very
Yeah,
much, Baloji, for
it's
joining
my
us.
pleasure.
We're a true fan of both your music, your visuals, and keep blessing us with that amazingness. Thank you
I
so
will
much.
try. Thank you so much. Thank you.
All right, bye
Bye.
bye.
See you.
All right. Well, that was our short conversation with Baloji. That I know he's on his busy schedule. It's funny because right in the interaction, you kind of feel the timetable for them, right? So it's then the question: which best question will you then insert there to talk to him about? Thanks again so much, Baloji and Nancy, for setting that up. And because they have to move on to the festival, of course, it is intense, it is hectic. I did remember because I presented the one in 2017, and the listing of the African content has increased. So even I love seeing that kind of development at such a renowned film festival in Amsterdam. So big ups to all of them. Of course, Nancy comes through with so many people that are setting making a mark, as creators. And the reason why I find this very important, obviously, of being an artist myself, is because that particular industry, um, in general, is often either overlooked, very much appreciated in terms of the content, but the makers behind it, who are they, and all of the time and the resources they put into it, is not an area that the general public really knows about how much work goes into creating visuals, creating film, and any of that in between. And that's why I think it is so super good and important to have these special guests that I have here with me backstage that are going to join me, and I'm going to have an interaction with. Um, Nancy, as I mentioned, she's one of our first guests here on Africa on Focus. Also, on one of our other shows, Women About Business, she has her hand in where Dutch cinema imports African film, and she is on her A game when it comes to that. She has more remarkable creators with her that I'm just going to interact with in these coming 20 minutes and have the conversation of what drives them. Now, here is one that filmmaker that I really, really have been purposely preparing to interact with, um, who is Adams Mensah, and who we also have is Comfort Arthur, who is going to join us here. I'll introduce them both. Now, the first one, he is probably one that would know closest to, a bit of the Dutch culture because he's in our neighboring land, or he works together with people from our neighboring countries in Belgium. Adams Mensah, he is a Ghanaian Belgian actor and filmmaker who started acting in Antwerp at the age of 16. Very interesting because all of us with our African backgrounds, they want us to be a doctor or whatever. So we're gonna also ask him some questions about him taking on that route. His debut documentary, Me a Belgian, My Mother a Ghanaian, won a Cygnus Award and a Special Jury Prize at ZIFF 2016. Ghana for You is a second feature and a part of a larger project investigating what prompts Ghanaians to migrate to other parts of the world. And he's presenting this film right here at the festival. Let's welcome Adams. Hello, Adams. How are you?
I'm good. 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 How are you doing?
I am good. Good to have you on. I'm going to introduce another amazing colleague who's also in the city of Amsterdam, so that we can have the conversation around creating film and impacting the world, as we would say. The next one is Comfort Arthur, who is actually a filmmaker and animator. Also very interesting. Comfort Arthur is an award-winning animator, graphic designer, visual editor, and a visual artist. She is the founder of the Comfort Studio, which is a multimedia studio based in Ghana, and which has produced a number of celebrated animated shorts. And she is showcasing at the festival as a pre-film an animated short film also about somebody who feels like an outsider after they return to their parents' homeland. So a bit of a connection in terms of storyline here. Let's welcome Comfort Arthur. Hello, Comfort. How are you?
Hi, I'm good. Hi, Adam. Long time.
Hi,
I know
You,
Adam really well, so
oh, is it?
it's nice.
Is it?
Yeah,
Wow,
yeah.
you probably run into each other at the festival as well, isn't it?
Yes,
we do.
we meet each other like when we're in Ghana, and when we're heading
Right,
back to our own destinations, we end up taking the.
right, right. And here comes Amsterdam, relatively chilly, isn't it?
Yeah, it's for me, it's a bit like Belgium, but I think the weather of Amsterdam is much better than Belgium for what I experienced yesterday because we actually do not have summer this year. It's crazy. It's all rainy and cold and yeah.
Oh man, yeah, yeah. I we definitely heard about that. The floods as well. That
Also,
you're
yeah. So no summer
right,
for us in Belgium. We are like in
right,
or something like that.
right. Okay, so one of those years. Let's just call it that.
Exactly.
And Comfort, how has been Amsterdam? How is
I'm
Amsterdam
not
with
in Amsterdam actually. I'm actually not. No, so I'm here virtually in the virtual. So
But
unfortunately, I'm not.
that's a good way to still interact.
Yeah. No, it is. I think as sad as the pandemic is, it's given opportunity. Even if you're not able to travel to a film festival, you can still be interactive, and be part of it. So yeah, I've been watching
Very much
closely.
so. Yeah, yeah. It's a good way to keep an eye on things. Absolutely. Let's get right into it. I love how both of you kind of touch on the topic of where you are as in terms of the country that you're based in, being African slash Ghanaian, where is your home, and things like that. Um, let's talk to you, Adams, for instance. Why is the topic that you touch on in this particular film, which is Ghana for you, why is this particularly so important to you to create a film around it?
Um, there are so many things actually. First of all, I might enlighten the fact of how privileged I am to be in such a position in, let's say, in the world in general, and so to have been given this path as a filmmaker to tell stories. And one thing I noticed is that people like myself, or let's say people who are black, who are from the continent, do not have, let's say, the chances that I have, even though we try to live in a world where people say everything is equal, but actually it's not. So that is one part. On the second part, I noticed living between both worlds and both continents, there are some misconceptions from both sides about reasons and way of living or how people think and how people behave that does not really sit well with me. So that is why I'm like, okay, let me just do what I do best and tell the stories in a way that people from both sides can know actually the mindset or the way of thinking or how things go in both places.
Yeah,
So
right. And that's why you spend time to highlight that specifically.
exactly.
Right. All right, thank you. Comfort, you somewhat have that same kind of topic, what I love so much about yours is that it's animation. I don't often, run into animation relating to this topic. Um, it might sound a very silly question, but just to find out, what the thought process and experience was. Um, how was it using animation to highlight such an important topic that, invites us to kind of think of where we are in life? How was that process, and how did you connect the two,
I've
content
always
and creative?
I've always used animation as a tool to talk about subjects that are quite difficult to express with other mediums. And the thing that is so great about animation, you can exaggerate stuff. You can detach yourself from what is real and what is not real. And that's what I've always used it to. Especially most of my films touch on social related issues, and you don't want to always use, sometimes it can be quite daunting when you're using live action to explore certain issues, such as that are quite personal. And so with I'm Living in Ghana, Get Me Out of Here, I tend to use humor as well in my work. And I thought, when I first started this project, it was more of a personal autobiographical diary of my struggles moving from London to Ghana. And I spent years posting it on Facebook, and I had so much reaction. So I thought, this would be actually interesting, turning all my frustrations on social media into a episodic short animation film. And it's been interesting because, like Adams is talking about, there's this difference. I struggled when I moved to Ghana about identity and trying to tell people I'm Ghanaian. And in one of the episodes in the taxi, if the taxi driver asks me, are you from Nigeria? Are you from Liberia? But never asked me if I was from Ghana because of my accent. So there's these little things that I talk about in observations that I've made in the short film about even getting your hair done in Ghana, touch about skin bleaching in a comical way, in terms of just the drawings, and not just saying about skin bleaching, but touching on it in certain ways. And so that was interesting for me to do this project, and just to get people to laugh, because a lot of people can relate to it, even though they're born in Ghana, the things that I've experienced as a British born Ghanaian. So it was, both ways people could relate to it.
Yeah. So you kept it as humorous at the same time.
Yes, I mean, I think humor is a powerful tool, even when you're talking about sensitive topics, but you don't want to you have to be careful. You have to get the balance.
Yeah. Got you. I love how it then first started on social media. Based on the reaction, you sort of had an idea of, hey, people can relate to this, and then taking it on to that next big thing, which is actually an animation. I love how you connect the two. So how was some of the reaction starting from that space to a film, and then people watching it? How have you received some of the reactions that have just stuck out to you?
I've screened I'm Living in Ghana around the world, and everyone that's watched it in festivals, they come back and say they can relate to it. They can relate to the taxi driver saying that, that's one of my favorite episodes, because, the taxi driver said 20 Ghana cities, and then I tried to negotiate. Adam, do you understand the negotiation of trying to get the fee to a cheaper price? And
exactly.
Then, when you give them a big note, then they say, oh, I didn't hear you say that we had that arrangement of being 15 Ghana cities, and then you're fighting them and all of that. So there's certain things that a lot of people, and funny enough, even people that are not Ghanaian, that are foreigners that have traveled, they experience the same thing. So that was the beauty of making this film, that everyone could relate to it, even if they weren't Ghanaian and were from the diaspora.
I love that. everybody relating to that's good, and not just one group or set of people. Anybody can see that, okay, if you've been to the continent, this is probably what you're going to go through.
Yeah, and I'm not trying to, the film's, just a disclaimer, wasn't trying to be derogatory and saying that Ghana is a terrible place. It was just an comical observation. I love Ghana. I mean, it's my home, and there's so much things about Ghana that is better than being in the UK. So, you know, I'm not, those that watch it, I'm not destroying.
No, but it's actually a very nice way to show your experience and also people to know what they can expect. That
it's exactly
always all that beautiful. Sometimes you should be aware of this kind of stuff, and that's for also to showcase that. So it's good.
Exactly.
You're absolutely right. And how was that for you, Adam? Because in some way you have converted this into your movie as well. Some would say that, hey, some of the questions that arise from this movie is many that you can answer because of your own experience, yet you still took a whole team out to capture all of the bits and find some of the answers. What have been some of your interesting discoveries, or maybe some of your familiar stories that you had this aha moment?
Let's say I had a lot of aha moments while I was filming and also while I was editing, but one thing actually that after the film ended, or after I finished the film, or after we finished filming, that really stuck by me was the fact that sometimes most of us or people from the West, we intend to forget. Let's say what I mentioned earlier, how privileged we are to be here because of this whole system and bureaucracy that has been imposed upon us, say us as Africans. I used to really be very angry at, let's say, Ghanaians or Africans who are willing to actually travel outside to have a better life. But after I finished shooting and making the film, I realized actually traveling and exploring and learning shouldn't be something that had to be a hardship for a human being to go through.
It's true.
Right.
That should be something very easy because traveling all over the country, what I noticed was people who like to travel are not really that much, and also not everyone is willing to travel to go and stay outside. People are just, majority of them are just traveling out of curiosity, out of the image that has been created um, for them to see how those places are. And from my experiences, I say traveling, either you're traveling to Ghana or you're traveling to the West or you're traveling to Nigeria or I don't know where, it gives you the chance to have different experiences. Because let's say, as Comfort is saying now, growing up in the UK, traveling to Ghana, the experience is totally different. Let's say enriches her now also in her work. You understand? And that is what I think for me, I had this moment I was like, actually, in terms of traveling or in terms of discovering a place, a city or a country, should be something that is open for everyone. But it's just that it's such a pity that at this moment, just only let's say one sided of the human race have that chance to do that, and the others don't.
Yeah.
Which is unfortunate.
Yeah, it's really unfortunate. So yeah, and I had a lot of aha moments, because I took with white Belgian friends and black Belgian friends and mixed that with Ghanaian friends that I have over there. So I sometimes just sitting back and just relaxing, listen to them talk to the white people. I'm like, aha, you see, I told you. Now I don't have to explain myself anymore. You guys just talk. You guys just talk.
Right.
You guys should know what you've caused, and you guys should know the implements of the things that may come with it and stuff. So yeah, it was an journey.
Yeah. Yeah, I love how your team is a blend of people that can all have a different perspective on that main question. Why is it that
Yeah.
people move out of Ghana or move to Europe specifically?
Mhm.
So I can just imagine how insightful it must have been for you.
Definitely, definitely, definitely. And one of the things that I also try to be aware of in every aspect of the film, I try to like also bring the perspectives out. So in terms of, let's say, arranging the people I'm traveling with, doing this white and black thing, you also see in the film also the crew, the camera people, also
Yeah,
one from Ghana, one from Belgium, and also the editing as well was
right,
also edited by both sides, and the music, the soundtrack as well, it's also from both sides.
right,
So that makes
right.
it also very interesting to like try to bring these two together in a way that it actually works without actually looking down on one another or bringing each other up
Yeah, without judgment.
without judgment, without judgment, but just seeing each other as co-equal within our own, let's say, strength,
Hmm. Yeah.
within our own strength. Yeah.
So speaking of perspective, comfort, you know, moving back to Ghana, I mean, we kind of have an idea of how it looks like. Some have tried it, some came back, some just did it for a few months, or some have been documenting other people's, stories from the online space, and things like that. What have been some of your aha moments for just right from your experience moving back to Ghana? I know you captured it in the animation film, but what have been some that have just stuck out to you that you always keep sharing or keep talking about?
So I get a lot of people that come to me and ask me, "How did you do it for 8 years living in Ghana and not going straight, coming back and
Yeah,
forth?" And I don't know if I can do it, you know. And I always tell people that I'm going on holiday because I have a lot of friends that come and travel and they visit Ghana for like 4 weeks,
yeah,
and then they're like, "Oh my God, this is the best place part of the world to be in," and I'm like, living
that's what they think.
and holidaying are totally two different things. So that was the first big aha moment when I arrived in
Right,
Ghana, because I thought when I first saw it, I was like, oh, I've been to Ghana. I go to Ghana every year on holiday. I spend 4 weeks, so I understand all the ropes of it. I can deal with it. But then
right,
after the first 2 months of living in Ghana, having the power cuts occasionally, getting the
I know.
mosquitoes, getting, all the other frustrations, I realized that it's totally different, and that, you have to learn to adapt to things, and certain, like, I like what Adams was saying, certain privileges that we have when you live in the West, tend to realize those things. But then sadly, I had that experience when I first arrived in Ghana, not feeling a part of the community, meaning that I'll get looks or be treated like you're not part of us, even though you have a
Right,
British accent. Even though there was times I'll be like, I'm Ghanaian. No, you're not, because I had an English accent, and I would have to show my Ghana
right,
passport and say, look, I'm Ghanaian. Yet still people wouldn't. So that was the thing that
wow,
really, you know, Ghanaians are welcoming, but then there's certain things that they're not. I felt that it was a constant struggle to try and find where is
yeah,
home. So I had this bit of an identity crisis. Like, I'm born in
yeah,
England, but I'm not seen as English because I'm, black. But I came to Ghana and I wasn't felt that I was Ghanaian enough. So I felt I was always constantly in
yeah,
the middle, trying to, prove myself of how Ghanaian I am, and, trying to be more Ghanaian. But I knew that going all the time, I was a Ghanaian. And so that was those little moments that as much as it was sad, but it is what informed me to do this film. It's about trying to find identity, trying to fit in, trying to find, like what Adam was saying, what is home? You know, is it home? Is it because where you're born or where you are now? And this is what I was trying to fight with myself. It was more of a constant fighting battle, but I always now say I'm Ghanaian, regardless of whether I have a British accent. And then also another thing was at the accent. I tend to find a lot of, when I was in Ghana, people wanting to have a British accent rather than appreciating the accents that they have. I'll be like, oh, I want to have your accent. And I'll be like, but the Ghanaian accent's beautiful. Oh, no, I want to. So there was that identity crisis there, which I was always trying to, you know, or there'll be times when I was trying to speak my language, and instead of being encouraged, I was mocked at it. So it's all of these things that I was trying to find my identity and where and what is home to me. And yeah, so it was that constant journey and battle within the community, and you know.
It's a topic that we talk about a lot with returnees, with people that are based here. You know, they get to find themselves like an in-between space. But I love how you mentioned that, if I got you right, you just concluded like, hey, I'm a Ghanaian. You know, that's really about it.
100. I mean, 100. I don't think that just because you're born somewhere else that should not define who you are. I mean, the fact that I know my roots and I know that Ghana is, part of me. Living there for 8 years alone, experiencing everything from the ups, the downs, the lows of Ghana. And Ghana is a beautiful country, and the people there. I've made so many. I would have even met Adam if I, So that's one thing that I do appreciate about, living in Ghana. And the title of my animation, "Get Me Out of Here," was a play on the show. I'm not sure if you guys know it. In Amsterdam, I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here. I'm not sure if you guys know about that. Yeah, you know the show. Yes, so that's basically a parody on that, because with Celebrity Get Me Out of There, the contestants are taken to a new place, a new environment, and they have to adapt and they have to survive. And so that was the whole idea of me moving from the UK to live in Ghana, was about adapting and trying to survive this new environment.
Yeah, I love that. So with Adam says, okay, why do people move to Europe? In your case, the question would be, why should we move, or do we move to Ghana? Do you have any answer to that? Why should we move to Ghana rather than the opposite?
I think there's a lot of disconnect with, especially British born or the diaspora. When I was born, I mean, I know a lot of people I know that have never been to Ghana, so they don't even know. There's this saying called Sankofa. You need to return. If you want to know your identity, your history, your ancestors, you need to return back. So it's so important. Even though, and I understand there is that privilege of being in the West, but there's so much importance and so much power of knowing where you're from and not losing all of those history. I mean, and all of that stuff. And so for me, that was one of the great things of going back to, and I've never up to now, I've never forgotten about my roots and where I'm going. Even though I'm now traveling to different parts of the world, I still remember home, and home is where my family, my ancestors are, which is Ghana. And that's why it's so important that people do return home.
Got you. And Adams, what is your stance on that?
I totally agree with what Comfort is saying, because once again, I'm going to touch on my privilege. On Comfort, I was born in Ghana. I lived in Ghana, and I knew what it is like to be a Ghanaian. So moving to coming to Belgium to live there for the rest of my life, or half of my life, whenever I get thrown that, like I don't belong to Belgium, I don't belong to the West, it never bothered me because I know where I come from. And what I see with, let's say, my friends and those who were not born on the continent is that it always bothers them because born, let's say, in Belgium, in the Netherlands, in the UK, but all the time, because of their skin color or because of their heritage, they are being told they don't belong there. And at that moment, also, the place they are supposed to belong, they've never been there or never lived there. So it's always a battle that they go through. And what I comfort them, if you go back to, let's say, the country of ancestors, to go back to the source, it gives you some empowerment. It gives you like a place of belonging for like, yes, okay, so this is belong. Even though comfort has given us said like, okay, in the beginning there were some struggles of fitting in, but I'm sure with the time you actually forget that struggle and you still feel welcome because you get to know, okay, this is why this person is thinking like this, and it has nothing to do with, let's say, me not being Ghanaian. It's just because I was born and raised somewhere else. So my personally thing is, that is always what I plead for. My friends, my family members, I always encourage everyone to go back to their country of origin, to where their parents were born.
Definitely.
Every single person of color. And just to tap on that, documentary series that I'm making, it's called Destination Ghana. And I'm going to follow 4 diasporas from 4 continents who are coming to Ghana for the first time to see what their experiences are, and coming to, let's say, a continent that they don't know, but is being perceived by their communities as where they are supposed to belong. So that is also part of my personal journey in bringing people, let's say people who are from Africa and not necessarily Ghana, who has never been to Africa before, to get in touch with their roots, because it strengthens you as a human being. It gives you some mental stableness for you to be able to like fight anything that the whites, or let's say, the white society throws at you when you're in the midst of them. And it gives you also like, in your power as a human being within this world in general. So I totally agree.
I absolutely co-sign on that. Yeah, I love how you said that, man. That speaks to everyone, not just the on the continent born, but also outside of the continent born.
Definitely, definitely.
I feel agree.
And that is why I find traveling very important. Visa, you understand? For you, let's say those on the continent should have the chance to experience a bit of life here. This, when they go back, their mentality of thinking will be different. And those who were not born on the continent also go to the continent, experience that, and also when they return, their way of thinking and their way of doing things will be totally different. This is finding your place and your belongings in there on this planet, actually.
And I think it's also there's one thing about the West. There's so many different etiquettes that we have in the West that we don't. I noticed that when I was living in Ghana, that we have in Ghana, like you walk, you can, when you go out to you go out and you walk on the streets of Ghana, there's that sense of community. So you can't walk past the Abrua and not say good morning to her. I didn't know that when I first came, because in England, everybody's minding their own business. You don't say hello to anyone. Everyone's walking. But when I came to Ghana and I saw the old lady and you walk past, the next day she would give me some dirty look, like, and I didn't understand until I was told, do not walk past people, say good morning. It's a part of so these certain etiquettes that we have, or giving something with your left hand, it's a taboo. But when you go to England, giving someone with your other hand, no one might bother. So these little things, or when an adult is talking, the elder's talking, you're quiet. There's not that, you're not able to, that challenging, dialects that when you are in the UK, you can challenge and stuff like that. So there's these different things, which I'm not saying they're bad or they're not good, but you have to, it's good to know that, as Adam was saying, to understand them. And some areas of them are actually good, especially when it comes to community. And when you go to the UK, that there isn't there isn't that community, which it is sad, you know. But you can, in Ghana, you can go to your friend's house if you don't have anything. You come say, "Oh, Chale, I'm hungry," and you eat together. But in England, it's everyone's minding their own business. Oh, can I come to your house? Because
you have to call first.
You have to make an appointment. You have to
make
an appointment, and it's those things that makes Ghana beautiful. That sense of community. You know, everyone is, you know, keep making sure, you know, that this is your brother. So, you know, you don't see that person as a friend. It's a brother. Oh, that's a sister. But England, the UK, it's more different. The dynamic. So I think etiquettes and how to live. Those were very important things that I learned when I was moving to Ghana.
Yeah, I love that. It makes me reflect on many of my own moments that I have going back, you know, often. So this is something that a lot of people can relate to, and I love how you both showcase this in your art, in your visuals, and make people to come back and think. And even the title, "A Ghana for You," right? This is something that we would say. I remember years ago when I did a 6-month internship in Ghana. And we would always have this Ghana for you moment, from the rude way of how the trotro comes in, in this small gap of space that you don't even know how a bus fits in. They be like, "Oh, that's Ghana for you."
That's Ghana for you.
So I love Ghana for you. If something weird happens, it's a Ghana for you.
Ghana for you.
and that actually, you know, when I used to hear that, it used to frustrate me all the time, because it's like, why don't you fix those issues? Like, what? But that's Ghana for you. I was like, no, and those are the little things that used to frustrate me in Ghana, especially certain, one thing was time. You know, everyone in the US, most of the time, we respect time. When you say 9 o'clock, you have to be at 9 o'clock. You can't be late to a meeting. It's, you know what I mean? It's really problematic here. But Ghana, I remember when I had a meeting, I was there at 9 in the morning. The person rolled in at 11. And like Adam says, Ghana for you. It's all
Ghana
right.
for you.
You know, Ghana man time, trotro. And I'll be like, but why don't you just leave early? Like, why, you know what I mean? And so I had to adapt to that. So now when someone would say 11 o'clock is the meeting time, I will ask them, do you mean Ghana man time, which is 11 o'clock, or do you mean Greenwich Mean Time, 11? When they say Greenwich Mean Time, I will come on the dot. If they say Ghana man time, I'm coming later, because I know.
Coming from 11, up to 11.
Because I know it's Ghana for you. So, you know. So yeah, I do relate to Adam's title, because as a Ghanaian and from the diaspora, I can literally relate to all the times I've heard that phrase, Ghana for you.
Yeah.
It's a good thing you even ask. I don't even ask. I just come on the time and then bring out my social media plannings, all of my work, and I just do it because I know
you're not going to show up on time.
It's time for something else. It's just not going to happen. But hey, that's Ghana for you.
Once you know the system, you can do anything you want to do.
Literally.
Absolutely. So it takes that patience, of course, that it also comes with the adjustments, right, that you make when you enter back on the soil.
And also to say that is also what makes it interesting in a way, that like they also have their own codes, even though the West is trying to like implement their way of Western living on them. They still try to live in their own ways and means, and they try to understand that and still get their things done. And some like comfort, like not for me, I always get frustrated. I always get frustrated. I don't do the what you're saying. I just say 11, but in the back of my mind, maybe like Abba said, I know you're gonna come at 12. So for me, between 11 and 12 and 1, I already have something else planned doing. So if you show up on 11, I'm like, hey, you are my kind of people then. And if you show up, let's say 11,
right,
I'm gonna give you a whole book of like no. But I didn't let you waste my time. I've already done something in between. So, like you said, you need to adapt and know the system, and then you can do all the stuff you need to do. Yeah.
Very true.
And I also in my short I touch on the dating scene in Ghana, which which I thought it was important as a diaspora. So you get to see, those that do get to watch it will understand the whole dating scene. So it was quite interesting to touch on that as well. And from my own personal experience, and also friends that I've known from diaspora, how to navigate in the dating scene, and the certain chat up lines that Ghanaian men from Ghana, you know, and it's so funny. Like, for example, the being hissed at, which I found was so annoying, which I documented, you know, and I thought it's just, I think ABBA, you understand the hissing when you're passing, and certain guys, just to get your attention, will be like,
the first time I heard that, I was like, are you kidding me?
Adam, I'm very worried about Adam because he does it so well. I'm not sure if you do it too, because you do the hissing sounds super well. You know, I'm very weary now. You know,
what I love about that sound, right? It doesn't matter in what kind of crowd you are, you will hear it. It will beat through any type of noise. You will hear the hiss. You know.
Yeah. So those little, as I said, those little things that people just can relate to and remember are things that I mentioned in a comical way. But I mean, I usually don't approve of that hissing style anyway. I feel like that's like catcalling, is kind of creepy and stuff. But those little things that that like is Ghana for you. Like literally, people have now absorbed it because, you know, it's the way it is in Ghana. If that's how people get attention, and it's not just men doing it to get attention for women, but it's to get attention anyhow. It's in general, that's the way. Instead of, you know, coming to the person, it's the or saying excuse me. It's more of that hissing thing, which has now become part of the culture. If you want to get attention, that's how you do it. So those are the little things that I made my observations and put it in a comical way.
Yeah. Love it. Absolutely love it. Oh man, it's been so good talking to both of you. I mean, it just brought back all kinds of memories and experiences that are just, oh man, I could just laugh about this throughout the whole day. Both of you, who is on your playlist? What is your favorite Ghana dish? Or African food? Let me just put favorite African. What's on your music playlist, and what's your favorite African food?
For me, now, I am at a place where I wanted to be. So I've been listening, or let's say I got to know Diana Hamilton. She is a gospel musician in Ghana. Let's say she has been the one, like my go-to person that I actually kind of like play in the morning to give thanks of where I am now and the things that I'm doing and the goals that I've set for myself that I've hit. So Diana Hamilton, she's the one. And then in terms of food, I love food. It's difficult for me to choose one, but the one I'm craving for right now, since you asked, it's York Gari and plantain. Comfort's favorite because she doesn't share her plantain as well. So
you're already going to say he already knows it because it's in my short animation. So Adam already knows my favorite food.
Is it red or?
Yeah.
And it's actually in the short animation. If those that will watch it I talk about red in one episode. That's actually my date when I went on a date. So I'm not going to spoil it. But red is actually one of my favorite dishes in Ghana. And Adam knows that I don't share my plantains. I believe I believe that you have to be very smart about how many plantains you are buying when you get red bread. You either buy too little, then you have too many beans and you can't enjoy the food. And so I always buy more than I can eat, so that if I know that the beans are running, I still have plantains. So yes, red is my favorite. Music, it's so hard because I like a lot of music. I really loved Ebony before she died. Sadly, she passed away, but I loved Ebony's music. There was a lot of, I mean, a lot of people looked at her dressing and stuff, but the lyrics of some of the things that she was coming with was very powerful. She talked about domestic violence in one of her song, but the last song that is it called Mommy Share or something like that?
Mommy Share, yeah.
You know, and that was powerful. People didn't realize it. It was
no, it is.
But
it still is powerful.
It still is a powerful, and she was very creative. She touched on so many topics of that, you know, this young girl did. So she's like one of my, you know, I mean, I was really sad that because she had so much going for her, and I imagine if she was still here, the amount of songs that she would have, both politically and yet, you know, and if a musician can do that, you know, talk about important stuff, but also use the means to entertain as well, you know, I give kudos to her. And you know, and there's other musicians, so I can't really, I just wanted to highlight Ebony because I really thought that while I was there and you know, that time, she was really good musician.
Yeah, love that. Thank you so much for spending this time with me. I know your coming week is probably still as busy, but now the more reason for people to watch both of your films and to come and see you to come and view it in Amsterdam. There's a whole schedule which is available on the World Cinema Amsterdam website, where you can find when their films will be showcased throughout the week up until the 29th, if I am not to be mistaken. So that's something to look out for. So I'm gonna push on everybody to come and watch all of your movies and just enjoy just even more of, you know, just both of your spirits, just beautiful people and connecting with you. Thanks so much. Where can we find you on the socials, on Instagram and all of it? Can we find you there? What are your handles?
I'll let you speak because you no, it's an honor for me to have my film be his pre-film, but Adam is the one that, you know, his feature is showing, so I'll give, you know, Adam that before, you know, it's an honor to have it, you know, my film.
I joined Instagram not so long ago, so I'm on Instagram as well, Adams Mensah or The Real Adams Mensah. And then on Facebook also, Adams Mensah. I have a page there as well. So these are my two social media handles. I'm not yet on TikTok, but people are telling me to get myself there. So maybe I'll be getting there as well very soon. I'll be getting there as well. Yeah, The Real Adams Mensah and Adams Mensah on Facebook.
The Real Adams Mensah and Adams Mensah. We'll be looking out for you, be following you. And what about you, Comfort?
So I'm on Instagram as at lady_comfy, and on Facebook I'm Comfort Arthur, and Twitter I'm at Comfort Arthur, and my website is www.thecomfystudios.co.uk.
Oh yeah, and I have.
Can you repeat your Instagram?
March Productions.
All right.
March Productions as well, yeah.
All right. Well, we'll be following both of you. And again, thanks so much for spending time with me. I know, Adams, you're in Amsterdam, right?
I'm in Amsterdam, yeah.
Right. Enjoy the rest of Amsterdam. I am going to try to come and see if I can come and say hello and meet Nancy as well. All the best to both of you. Comfort, I might, we'll be in GH next month. Might pass by to pass you some Dutch biscuits. So if I get to find you there, I will definitely ask for your contact and come and say hello.
Awesome.
So
Thank
yeah, and both of you
you.
have a wonderful weekend, and we will catch up next time.
Thank you for
All
Bye.
having
right.
me.
Thank
Bye
you. Thank
bye.
Bye
you.
bye.
Bye.
Bye bye. All right. Well, wonderful conversation I have had with all creators, and the more reason that you should definitely, tap into their film and what they have created. All the more that we should promote this and support our own that represent Ghana film coming from true African creators. As I've just interacted with Adams Mensah, with Comfort Arthur, and also with a Baloji, talking about their creating of film and of their visual and all of that and so much more. Like I said, World Cinema Amsterdam Festival is still taking place up until the 29th of August. If you get to hear this on time, you definitely should go. They have a sets of all of these films, sets of African films showcasing at Oscom. I think about ranging of three different venues, so you should definitely check it out. You can go and look on Africa on Focus Instagram so that you see one post and you can just click through so that you can find the link that you should definitely be out looking for. We've reached the end of Africa on Focus. Of course, a special edition with these wonderful filmmakers that come from the continent and get to, come from different parts of the world and translate one wonderful story that we can all relate to. I truly love that. And as you can see from the conversation, we just had a good talk. Simply had a good talk. African Focus is where we share our success stories. You can listen and tune into my show every Sunday from 7 p.m. CET time to 9 p.m. In case you missed any of the episodes, you can, of course, you can catch up on our podcasting platforms, on all streaming platforms, your Spotify's, your iTunes, and all of that. You can listen to the recap of my show on Africa in Focus. I'm your host, Miss.ABA, and of course, you can follow me on all your social media platforms. MS.ABA is that on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and all of that because I've decided to tweet a bit more. So you can find me on there as well. And let's get to talking. Have a good week, and we will catch up next week. All right.